This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
shire.efoodsglobal.com.
I'm standing here with Budget Committee member Max Abramson of Seabrook, from the Seabrook Budget Committee, but you're sometimes better known right now for a controversy where you you feel targeted by the Seabrook Police Department. And I know you can't talk that much about the case itself, but I am curious as to whether you've indicated you would like to talk about your concerns about the Seabrook Police Department itself, so go for it.
As a matter of fact, I was told even before I ran for a local office. I ran last year for Budget Committee and Constable, and I was elected to both positions in the town, and a lot of folks in town said, you know, don't get into the police department's budget because they retaliate against, you know, Budget Committee members in the past have investigated their expenditures, and they get pulled over and harassed and ticketed and hassled, and I figured I wasn't going to be, you know, threatened or deterred, so I just went ahead and I've been talking about the police departments. Police and fire department each have nearly $500,000 overtime budget each, and none of the other departments in town, most don't have any overtime, and I think DPW is the only department with overtime, and they're like $100,000. But on the Budget Committee, I've been talking about their budget because it's an enormous amount of money. They're not responding to some police calls. They're taking enormous amounts of time on some of their responses, 8 or 10 minutes to respond to calls, or they're just saying, well, we're too busy. And we keep, at the Board of Selectmen meetings and Budget Committee meetings, we keep hearing the same thing from the police department, that they don't have enough money, and yet we see them. You know, when you have cases where the ambulance is called and the police come in at the same time, you have 2 or 3 cruisers sitting there, and you have 2 or 3 police officers standing around with their arms crossed while the paramedics are going in and rescuing somebody, and they're not.
Is this something you've seen yourself, or is this just secondhand?
No. We've all seen that. That's pretty much standard practice.
You saw it? Where did you see it?
That actually happened at my house. I've seen that happen at several different ambulance calls, and more folks have been saying, hey, how come the police aren't doing anything? How come they're just standing around? And I'm hearing it from other town employees and other responders. And after bringing this up publicly a number of times, people have said, hey, watch out for that police department because they retaliate against people. So then after the December 19th case, a lot of people have come up to me and they've said, oh, you know, this is political, right? And I say, well, do you have evidence of it?
You're saying you're being persecuted for your political opposition to certain police budget and certain police activities.
Not just their misuse of funds and their activities, but seeing what's going on with the Lesperance case, the police chief in Salisbury, and
what's going on with that? And that's not Seabrook.
He's not Seabrook, but he lives in Seabrook, and the 2 departments tend to kind of operate in parallel a lot. We're right on the same border. Mm-hmm. He's being accused of feeding drugs to women in exchange for sex, and
that's all playing out in the media right now.
That's being played out in a very high-profile manner, and the investigation is looking very bad for the town. There's a letter from an investigation online that folks can look up on their own. I'm not going to get into it, but it's not just something that's confined to Salisbury. It's been affecting the whole area.
And you understand that standing here in front of me and raising these questions is going to get you in more trouble, more targeted probably, and you're okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with it, but are we going to cave in to threats? All of our elected officials say, well, we'll never cave into terrorism, but they're caving into extortion all the time, and I'm just not willing to cave in or back down. I'm not willing to give up, and I want some of the abuses, not just the waste of money, but I want some of the abuses of power and the illegal activity going on these police departments to be made public. I want people to know about this.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to add that I haven't asked you about?
I think that the case that's been brought against me has been trumped up, and I suspected it before, and now I much more strongly believe, after seeing how they're handling the case and the process, that it's strictly a political case. And now I'm pretty much convinced of that fact, that it's pretty much just retaliation and trying to make an example of someone who's standing up to them. And this isn't the first time it's happened.
You are doing that. There's no question. And my question would be, what do you think, activists or police accountability activists should do in this area?
I think the first thing we need to do is stop giving the police department a huge budget, stop giving them carte blanche, stop giving
an average person can't make that happen. What can the average person do?
The average person in town can go to your board of selectmen and raise hell about this, because I hear about it all over town all the time from Seabrook residents. Why aren't the police doing this? Why isn't the town doing anything about this? Why are the police being such a problem? And it doesn't do any good to tell me, because I'm hearing about it from everybody. You have to go to the selectmen. All I am is I'm just a budget committee member. They're the selectmen. They're the ones who can fire the police chief or fire any of these officers who are doing this.
So just go to town hall.
Go to town hall.
During a meeting?
Go to town hall during a meeting, put your hand up and say, hey, I want to talk about this. And yeah, they might come after you and cause problems and headaches and hassle for you, but if we just sit back and let them bully private citizens, then they're going to keep doing it forever.
Well, a person who doesn't live in Seabrook, what can they do to help you with your cause?
Write letters to the editor of local papers. Go to seacoastonline.com. Go to Newburyport News and write letters to the editor, and to Foster's Daily Democrat and other publications, and speak out publicly about what's going on, and especially if you've witnessed abuse or illegal activity by any of these departments, just go on and tell people your side of the story, so that this doesn't just get all swept under the rug.
All right, Max. Good luck with your case.
Thanks.
Delicious, inexpensive, storable with a 15-year shelf life in most cases. What is it? It is shire.efoodsglobal.com. Try a bite or order with all your might, straight from the site. You can even get free samples there. Or let Kurt and Auburn hand you some. shire.efoodsglobal.com.